Aloha everybody and welcome to part 12 of my Let's Play of Sonic Colors. And Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. It's now 2016. I hope you had an enjoyable Christmas. I hope you got some good gifts. I got some alright gifts. I got some stuff that's going to help me for when I move later, because later this year I plan on moving out of this house and going to a new place, and I've got big plans. And now I'm going to put them to work! Either way, folks, we're in the 5th zone of Sonic Colors. We're in Aquarium Park, which is sort of a cross between Chun-Nan from Sonic Unleashed and a water level, and
This exotic aquarium contains many rare and endangered species. Enjoy them with a delicious soy glaze at the Bucket of Sushi restaurant.
Oh, Dr. Eggman. Serving up endangered animals as food in his incredible interstellar amusement park. You gotta love the Eggster. He sure knows how to make entertainment. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, look at this view. I love jumping off the ramp here, not just following the road, but like jumping and boosting and going through those rings and grinding on these rails. I love the view. This place is fantastic. And the theme song of Aquarium Park is pretty damn enjoyable, if I do say so myself. You know, if it stayed mostly above water, and it was just mostly all of this kind of stuff, I would actually like this zone quite a bit. It's actually pretty awesome when it's not in the water. But of course, this is a water level, so you can bet that there's going to be a lot of underwater sections. And anyone who's followed my playthroughs since the beginning, whether you saw me play Labyrinth Zone in Sonic 1, whether you saw me play through any of the water zones in the Game Gear games or whatever, you all know how I feel about water levels. They make Sonic slower, they make him move at the speed of molasses, and they make it a lot more tense because Sonic will eventually drown in water, as you know. He can't stay under there forever. Eventually, you're going to hear this countdown that is terrifying as all hell, and if the countdown goes to 0 and you haven't reached an air bubble, you're going to drown and you're going to die, and that's no good. So, you know, make sure you keep an eye out for air bubbles. But this one's a little bit different because, well, since this is Sonic Colors, we have access to the Drill Wisp. And the Drill Wisp can go through the water very quickly, it can go wherever it wants very fast, and you don't have to worry about air when you're piloting the Drill Wisp. You don't have to worry about running into air bubbles, because as long as you're in drill form, you will have unlimited air. You will never have to worry about drowning whenever you're in this form. But of course, you can't stay in it forever, because eventually you'll run out of energy, or, you know, you'll just be taken out of the water. And this is another different thing about Sonic Colors in comparison to every other Sonic game ever. In every other Sonic game, you just jump, and normally, and you can't really jump more than once. But in this game, they've given Sonic the ability to jump infinitely in water. Yes, so, like, you're in the water, you push the jump button. Why don't we push it again? Okay, I did a double jump. We know double jumps in this game, that's no problem. Let's jump a 3rd time, let's jump a 4th time, let's jump a 5th time. Sonic can literally jump as high as he wants for as long as he wants. You can jump infinitely in water, and this has never happened in a previous Sonic game ever. So it was kind of unique. I remember when I first played this, I was almost kind of happy about that, because I was like, oh my god, I can jump infinitely? I can go super, super high in water as regular Sonic? That's awesome! I can go wherever I want. I won't have to worry about drowning, because I can just keep jumping up, 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 and then eventually, you know, get above the water, and then I'll be fine, and it'll be hunky-dory. Yeah, Sonic figured out how to do a water level, finally. You know. But I found, as the game goes on, and as I had repeated playthroughs and stuff, it is nice to have infinite jumping, don't get me wrong, but the water sections are so gigantic. These are probably the biggest levels in the game, especially combined with how slow Sonic moves underwater, that even if you try infinitely jumping to get to the top from, like, the very bottom of the section, you're going to find that it's a very, 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 very long climb. It's a very slow climb, and you're probably not going to reach the surface of the water in time, and you're going to drown, and yeah. Aquarium Park is huge. It's easily the longest zone in the game for me to complete, especially if I'm going for red rings, because, you know, I could have gone to the destination I'm at right now, like this section right here with the checkpoint, earlier, but I actually had to make a detour in order to get the red ring, and I had to make sure I take that elevator with a laser wisp so that I could bounce off all of those diamonds in order to get the red ring, and It takes forever to get all the red rings in this zone. It takes a lot of backtracking, a lot of using the wisps in peculiar ways, and, no sir, I don't like it. No sir, I don't like it at all. I know you're supposed to slide under there, but I never like doing that. You're supposed to, like, stand on the platform, and then when it crumbles, you go to the right. But I prefer to jump underneath from this side, because why not? As always, when you're in the drill wisp formation, you want to keep spinning in circles and stuff, because you'll get color bonuses. You want to keep running into the chompers, the fish badniks, because you'll get lots of points for destroying them as well. And, yeah. The music's also kind of different underwater than it is underground. Like, when you're piloting around as the drill in a cake in Sweet Mountain, when you're piloting under the dirt in Tropical Resort, it sounds a little bit different. In Aquarium Park, it's got a lot more lighthearted of a tone. So that's kind of interesting. The Drill Wisp has 2 themes. I still got my S rank. Booyah.
Please avoid breaking the glass, as it is the only thing between you and 10 million gallons of freezing wet death.
Well, damn. Well, damn. The good news is not every zone has water. This one in particular is a cube 2D section gimmick, so that there's no water, but there's a lot of bottomless pits, and you're going to have to use the cube wisp in order to make these platforms disappear and get to the red rings, and try and collect them as much as you can and all that jazz, so yeah. As always, when you're cube wisp, if you push the button, you will slam down wherever you are, and it will generally create this big explosive effect around you that will kill all of the badniks. It will destroy all of the black blocks, and you know, it's a P-switch ability, basically. If you try using the P-switch on the blue platforms, they're going to turn back into rings when you land on them. So if you try activating the device on blue platforms, you're probably going to fall through, and then you're going to fall into a bottomless pit. So you absolutely have to make sure that after you've made the transition, there's going to be platforms underneath you, you know? You have to absolutely make sure that you're not falling into the bottomless pit. It's a small level up otherwise, but you know. Fantastic music. Ugh. I know, gushing about music in a Sonic game, that's not new. It doesn't matter if it's Sonic Unleashed, it doesn't matter if it's Sonic 06 even. You know, I always gush about the music in Sonic games, but you know, just for it to be so consistent is what's surprising. Like when I get to Generations, when I get to Lost World, consistently good music even still. It's amazing.
What are you waiting for? Climb aboard the exotic aquarium for a boatload of... who writes this dribble?
You do, boss.
Oh, you're right, I do! I'm hilarious.
Eggman's the master of the puns. What are you waiting for? I also like that announcement is one of the only ones where, like, Orbot and Cubot are also part of it, so... Apparently Orbot and Cubot are with him when he's making these announcements. They're not always just running around trying to destroy Sonic or whatever. So here we see that the Rocket Wisp also works underwater. It goes super friggin' high. That was a pretty high launch, though, I will say that. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, you see how long my drop was? You saw how long it was when I used the Rocket Wisp to go high? Like, if you try infinitely jumping to get to the surface from here, you're not going to make it. So you really got to pay attention for those air bubbles. And it's still a slow thing where, again, because Sonic Colors is not like Unleashed or Generations, where there's not a big emphasis on boosting. You only get boost energy from certain wisps. You don't get it from destroying badniks, you don't get it from collecting rings. You really need to pay attention to, like, where the boost energy is, and you need to know when you can use it. It's just like, ugh, so slow in these areas. If I had boost energy, it wouldn't be a problem, because then I'd be zipping through all this stuff really, really quickly. I sure hope the DS version is very boost-filled. I wonder if the DS version of this stage will be my favorite level in the DS game. Like, plot twist, it is. Surprisingly. Like, this is my least favorite stage of the Wii version, but the DS Aquarium Park is my favorite DS level of Sonic Colors, so I really like DS Aquarium Park. I think that level's pretty fantastic, and I can't wait to show that off, but either way. Hunting down the red rings in this level is kind of annoying, because, like, you always have to make these backtracky moments where you're always having to get, like, certain wisps to certain areas, and you can get all 5 red rings in one go. You can, but it's always such a pain in order to do it. If I was just blazing through the level, if I was just going to the goal ring, I probably would have finished the level by now, but here I am going to rocket wisps and going to this section, rocketing up here and rocketing up there, and da-da-da-da-da. Watch out for the spikes. And if you get hit by the spikes, your free fall also cancels out, so, like, you're gonna just, like, fly back and just, like, drop. So, like, if you're aiming for the red ring, that's gonna totally screw you up. So, you know, watch out for that. As always, in order to maintain your wisp energy and to make it keep going, you're gonna have to run into capsules with the same wisp type that you're using. So, like, it's easy to run out during this elevator if you're not actually running into the frenzy capsules. Like, if you're missing the frenzy capsules, you're gonna run out, and then the elevator's going to keep going down, and then the boxes are just going to be regular old boxes, and there's nothing you can do about it, you know? So whenever you're Frenzy Wisp, whenever you're using any kind of wisp that you need to maintain, as always, keep an eye out for the containers with the similar colors that you're using, because you want to keep maintaining that as long as you can, for as far as you can, and that's my helpful tip, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the exotic aquarium. Any water you may notice on the floor is the result of our diligent house-cleaning staff's mopping, and not evidence of a dangerous leak in the... Oh, heck with it. Run for your lives!
You know, Eggman, you're probably going to have to get some better janitorial management, you know? If the glass is cracking and the water is overflowing so that it's going to destroy everybody, it's not making a very good case for you having an amusement park. It's all I'm saying. It's all I'm saying. Then again, people have always, like, theorized, like, this amusement park is not just to entertain people. It's literally designed just to kill Sonic, you know? Like, its entire purpose for existing is just to kill Sonic the Hedgehog. And everything else is just a ploy, you know? He's not really interested in entertaining the guests, he just wants to kill Sonic! I guess that's one way of looking at it, you know. Because he doesn't need the guests. He just needs the aliens. Once he gets the aliens and he gets their mind control juice, he's going to be taking over everyone's personality anyway. He doesn't need to entertain anybody. They're going to be entertained by Eggman once he's done with them. Because in Eggman's new utopia, where everyone is brainwashed with wisp energy, you will love Eggman regardless of what you thought of him before. Because as his Titantron in Sonic Adventure 2 said, he is great, he is wise, he is awesome, he is master, he is emperor. Alright, this section's really, really annoying to get the red ring, by the way. Because you need to use the laser wisp to bounce off all of these blocks in a very specific way. And of course, the big tip is, you want to look for where the rings are. In this case, I want to look for the opening, and I want to get dead center into it. There you go. Booyah. But, that section actually took me a lot of practice. I had to redo this level at least 4 or 5 times, because I would always end up screwing up the laser wisp actions there, where I would always bounce it off the wrong spot. It always felt like it really is the most specific moment, because, like, if you bounce just a little bit to the left or just a little bit to the right, you'll totally go in the wrong direction, and you'll be going outwards and not going to the red ring, and it's just like, ugh. There aren't too many trial and error red rings in Sonic Colors, but, you know, that is one that was just like, that took me a while to get that one, and especially to get it in the one run that I was doing. And this is where the level design gets very mazy for me. Like, I always feel like Aquarium Park levels just sort of go in circles, go in circles, go in circles, to the point where I can't really tell if I've been there before and if I'm actually going in circles, or if the level is actually progressing. It just seems to keep going and keep going and keep going, and that's one of my problems of these levels being way too long for their own good, you know? I mean, when you know where the red rings are, then it is actually a pretty good shortcut path, but when you're just casually playing the game, this level just won't end. It just keeps going and going, and am I going in circles? Am I lost? I don't know! I don't know! You know, in general, I just don't like water levels. I just don't like how slow they are. The only game I ever thought ever did them right was Mega Man. You know, in Mega Man, when you're in a water level, you walk normally, you shoot normally, the enemies move at the same speed, you move at the same speed, and the only difference was Mega Man jumped higher in water, you know? Like, he was a lot more buoyant, and that was pretty much it. So it was just like the super jump level. It never felt slower, it never felt like, oh great, it's the water level. Everything's gonna be like a snail's pace now. It's just like, no, Mega Man jumps higher, that's it. Doesn't matter if it's Sonic to me, doesn't matter if it's Mario, doesn't matter if it's Crash Bandicoot, I don't care. I don't like water levels, they're the worst. I don't mind sewer levels as long as they're not in the water, you know? Like, I made a joke level in Mario Maker this year, where my first one was literally just like a water level where, like, the goal ring's right there, and I called it Everybody Hates Water Levels. Nobody likes water levels, goddammit. Either way, to close off this stage, we got something that's very similar to something we saw in Sonic Unleashed. Those lasers, it will always shoot 2 at a time, and you gotta aim Sonic for where the opening is, you gotta aim for where the lasers aren't going. And if the robot catches up to you, he'll try and, like, swing at you and knock you out. And if you get hit here, all of your rings go behind the robot, and then you have no rings. So, like, if he hits you again right after clocking you one, he can easily kill you. And so this is actually a section where you can die pretty easily. And most players do die pretty easily in a specific level called Terminal Velocity with this enemy type. But, you know, if you have boost energy, you can always boost ahead and make sure he never swings at you. Dodging the lasers isn't really that big of a deal, and if you have a lot of boost energy, you can actually outrun the lasers and just keep going and going and going, and that guy's fun. I still like that enemy type from Sonic Unleashed. Anyway, folks, we're going to keep going through Aquarium Park in Part 13. See you then.